Vertical spinner.
Okay, we're a few weeks into the premiere of Battlebots World Championship 7, and leading up to it, there's been discussion that I'd had a few thoughts on, which we've sort of seen play out in just the opening weeks. The topic? Weapon diversity. As entrants to this season were revealed, there's been a recurring theme that everything is just becoming vertical spinners. We've seen Kraken incorporate one, we've seen Big Dill incorporate one, most notably, we've seen Free Shipping incorporate one. Unfortunately, we understand physics with the current arena setup just benefits this type of weapon.
Well, when
So
you get
similar in
to,
design.
When you get to the top-notch competitors, you know, the form, the shape, it starts to look similar because what works is what works.
Yeah.
But I also find it kind of overblown with these complaints, and in some ways misleading. Before I dive into that, I perfectly understand the craving for more diversity and strategies. As a fan of Norok Havoc, I 100% find myself pleased when a finger tech beater bar is defeated, and I'm totally excited for when Mixtape fights, or the experimental melty brains of the Casimers, in particular Deep Melt and Flip and Cut. But the free-for-all of NHRL also shows us that given certain roles in arenas, not everyone can pull off non-damaging weapons and make it entertaining to audiences. There's gonna be some people popping out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, I love watching this," but really, watching two robots static for 10 seconds when you're here for fighting? Even NHRL's announcers sometimes joke about it.
You brought a 12-pound sportsman when you could have brought literally anything else.
In the context of Battlebots, Complete Control was one of my favorite competitors from the Comedy Central era. But once he was in control, to be fair, it's not much of a fight. And then we have Voltark in Biohazard. In the modern era, I think Quantum does it right as a non-kinetic weapon. Fast, aggressive, with some damaging capability, and the team behind it knows that nobody wants to see a long drawn-out pin in slow motion.
We never go up to like the 30 seconds or the 20 seconds that you're allowed to go up to, because we don't want people to watch it and go, "Oh, that was boring." We want people to be excited by what we do.
But more importantly, the balance makes it much more entertaining, as Episode 3 from World Championship 7 showed. While control and control can be just pins, I will say the tension of control versus kinetic is quite exciting. Knowing it's tightrope walk for the control bot, that one hit from the spinner can turn the tides. And seeing the underdog pull it off, great shit. Everyone liked Claw Viper versus Ominous. But on to my problem with people's problems with vertical spinners. Shortly put, it's a broad category, and putting it into a neat box like that just doesn't always work.
Oh, it's a vertical spinner again, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Sort of like saying practitioners of Hema, Kendo, and Rapier fencing are the same because they all use swords. Let's look at a few verts. There's Cobalt, whose steep design kicks opponents up before shredding into them, trading off reach for insane potential. There's Deep 6, that just goes overboard and KOs others and itself, and the arena floor. Uppercut is a sort of balance, accentuating asymmetrical weaponry for maximum bite. Witch Doctor, the undisputed queen of the category that draws the most ire, which is 4WD verts, continuously emphasizes weapon delivery over ground game. And then, of course, Free Shipping. Almost everyone seemed disappointed it went from decorative lifter to a vert.
Where's my forklift?
But you couldn't possibly compare its vert to, say, a Hypershock, another driving-oriented 4WD vert. It almost feels like a weapon in name only, tucked away under the wedge so that it could be more like, Original Sin. Within the same episode, we can see how it fights like a wedge more than some other vert, such as Ripperoni. You wouldn't call Eruption in Robot Wars Series 9 a drum bot because of its drum of death. It was actually quite a fascinating idea to just use enough of a spinner to damage an opponent's ground game. With all that being said, though, it's not to say that there's a host of robots that if you take away the team and the branding, and maybe even the driving style, don't differentiate from each other much. I think of Rampage, or Jackpot,
Is Jackpot okay?
Emotionally.
or Ribot in its vert config, or even Warhawk or Madcatter. They all seem to sort of be baseline balanced vert configurations, with endgame being arguably the most refined variants. If we're going to lessen the number of applicants, I would certainly love to see a few of those give way to explore other varieties, like say the famed Apollo. But my point is, although I'd enjoy larger differences, harping on one category, one that's proven to deliver carnage and be effective, it's just tired and overdone. And just because it has vert doesn't mean it's all walking the path of Endgame, and that's all I wanted to say. Kind of feels weird to talk about BattleBots again, especially after last attempting to analyze that claims Season 6 sucks was overblown, and then they went ahead and dropped the biggest controversies ever, making it actually pretty bad and spurring BattleBots to actually adjust a plethora of things. But I've got no one to vent to, so there it was.